Hi everyone, welcome into that session which is about moving to cloud-native approach, meaning business agility. I'm your host today. My name is Henri Ramandrasoa, and I'm working as a product marketing lead for Cloud Platform Services. I'm very happy to welcome Bertrand Caillot, the Chief Technology Officer of YouKnowWhy and co-founder. To welcome Bertrand. Can you tell a bit more about yourself and about what YouKnowWhy is doing as a business?
Okay, so I'm Bertrand. I'm the CTO of YouKnowWhy. We founded this company in 2007 with my partner, which is Jean-Yves Epp. We start in the cooking business, starting doing the first 10-inch capacitive tablet in the world. But since 2012, we move to education business. We start like it was like a proof of concept, a simple POC on education using tablet made in France. And now we move to this business. It's more than 90% of the companies working on this education business, which is a key business for us. And we start this POC in 2012. We start our first product in 2015. And today we serve 300 cities. 30 departments, and we work with 5 regions, which is a huge achievement for us.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you have a lot of activities, especially those coming days. So I would like to set the stage for our attendees. I would like we focus on application because in our digital era today, they are really the powerhouse to create value for business, for users, and for customers. So the question we will help them answer through your case is about their existing application architecture, if it is able to match with the business requirement. There is 3 underlying questions I would like attendees to consider, and we'll help them answer and understand that. The first question about scale. If you win a big contract, will your existing design enable you to scale? The second question is about maintenance. You have an application that exists, and you need to maintain it into operational condition. How much time, how many engineering resources you dedicate to that task? And last question about time to market. Your customers, your users, they ask all the time for new functionalities. How quick can you deliver those into your existing application? So that's the quick question we'll try to answer through your case. And now, on you had to modernize your application. Can you explain where you come from and where you did go?
So as I said, we start this business by a proof of concept and then by a first product with small number of clients. We were developing this on a monolithic approach, using bare metal hosting on OVH. And we decide we want more and more clients, and we see that the business is growing fast, and we see that we need to be more scalable. And with my team, we discuss a lot on how to be scalable. And the answer were we need to move to microservice architecture hosted on Kubernetes environments. So it was a move that we do. It was a very important move that enabled us to scale. And thanks to this, we were able to serve this. We win in 2019 a big contract with Île-de-France to serve all the students from Île-de-France with our device and with our software system to manage those devices. And we were able to face this challenge thanks to this new architecture that we put in place.
Oh, okay, that's very insightful. So to rephrase, you had a monolith application, you needed to scale to serve better your customers, and then you adopted Kubernetes and microservices to be able to scale.
Exactly.
You say it was a tough decision that is impactful for you.
Yes.
Can you share with the attendees what were the questions you needed to ask yourself before making that decision?
First of all is the skill. We need the skill to move this. This is a quite new approach. Even on the architecture, on the hosting, everything is new. So we need to check internally if we have the skill. Fortunately, we have a good core team that know it and which is able to train the people and to go on. But it's clearly a key question. Then after come the question of the cloud provider, because there are many providers. We decide to try to make as much as possible of Even the hardware, we do as much as possible in France. So it was clear for us that we need to go with a French provider. And we already know OVH since a long time, since almost the beginning of the company. We work with OVH. And OVH moved to this cloud, also start this cloud offer a little before that we decided to go. But it was almost obvious to go with you, at least for a test, and this test was fruitful, so we go with you. But there is many offers in this, especially by the big American one, but there are some offers. And we need also to check in our architecture, what do we need to change to be really scalable? It's useless to have a scalable hosting or scalable microservice hosting if you have a spot somewhere, a single point of failure that is not scalable. And of course, you need to set up, but we have set up this before, CI/CD to be able to deliver fast, to be able to put everything in place very fast.
So I think this can really act as a kind of checklist for attendees to decide if they are ready or not, if they need to make some time to investigate. Now you have a state-of-the-art architecture,
Yes.
cloud native with Kubernetes, microservices. I would really like to, if you want to, give us more detail about what you have in terms of architecture, how it works a bit.
Okay. So in terms of software, it's almost it's quite classical because we use a database, which is PostgreSQL as a service. And we use GraphQL and React.js in front end. Of course, a lot of backend done in Python, but which is very classic. What is not classic with this, what it gives as a possibility, is the way you deploy your infrastructure, enable any developer without many commands or without knowing anything about ops, to be able to develop an exact copy of the production on his own development server or development machine. And what is very important is he's sure that when he replays his development, it will be the same in pre-production, in production. So everybody is at the same page, and you never heard again, it was working in my dev environment, it was almost working on pre-production, but on production it failed. So I never heard this after we moved to this architecture, which is clearly a key point.
And just to give some compliments, so you are using Kubernetes, so you abstract all the resources and you have guaranteed resources,
Exactly.
and as well object storage to share some media. But the key takeaway is that you have a real software factory enabling to ship new code every time you need on the exact environment close to production.
Exactly. This is clearly a key point, to be able to deploy whatever we want and really deploy as easy as it's possible.
If you had to sum up in 3 points, what are the key benefits you get from moving to Kubernetes and microservices? What are they, and what will you share?
The first is the scale, for sure. We were able, and last year was a very special year for education, thanks to the COVID problem. We have a lot of students at home working with our device and connecting at the same time. We were able to serve hundreds of thousands of devices at the same time. I'm almost sure we never be able to do that without this architecture. And we see in the press that some other services have some issue because of scalability. Scalability was not a real issue. Of course, the team was focused on monitoring everything, being sure, optimizing something, but it was like no pain to go to this scalability, and it's really key. In this period where the students really need their device, it was really important to serve them. So this is what we do. This is why we want to be good, is to be able to serve the user at the end. Of course, it's really give a full agile approach it's really complete the agile approach we have, because the way it's developed, the CI/CD integration is very easy, so it's really agile. And of course, it gives us some possibility to be very short in time to market, to be able to deliver to the user the feature in a very short time, which is really also a key point of what we gain from this architecture.
So thank you for sharing that. I'm hoping attendees can expect the same, enjoy the same type of benefit. In that path, what are your key learning? What the best practice you would like attendees to learn from your experience?
You need to have a key person that understands very well this architecture to be able to set up a plan. So clearly you need a plan to plan before. And after that, the key point is to train or to give the training to all the team, because it changes a little the way of working. So you need to train your team to be sure that your team understand the North Pole,
Yeah.
the point where we want to go, and also understand some tricky parts. So we do some online training, but the main way to do this is to give the possibility to the team to learn by doing.
Oh.
Starting with machines, starting with environment, doing some deployment on Docker, seeing on their own the benefit of that. Of course, many of them already touch that, but we give them the time to be able to play with, and it's really key.
I think that's insightful for attendees. And that's my last question. So you are part of our ecosystem. You are a member of our Open Trusted Code program. Can you share with us what does it mean for you being part of that ecosystem?
Okay. Since I started the technology business, we don't do IT for IT. We do IT to serve some users. I could say client, but for me, it's clearly serve the user. In our case, the user is, there is a lot of meaning in our user, because these are students, these are teachers. It's very, for me, it gives me a lot of reward to go to a school and to see the student being happy to have a device, to use it, and seeing teacher working with our tools, which is very impressive, which give me a lot of pleasure. The only goal is to serve the final user. And in France, it's clear that digital in school is not at the edge, like in some Asian country. So we want also, all together, be part of a team that enable digital in school, which is, for me, a key point.
Thank you. We are proud to have you serving that and serving that goal. For attendees, if you have some question to Bertrand or to myself, please feel free to reach out. And thank you very much for sharing all your experience based on that, Bertrand, and for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.